So before work, uh, I snapped at my son because he asked me something simple, and I was just exhausted, and I snapped at him, and that's where immediately afterward I felt like I failed him. I failed parenting. I failed being a father. The instant regret of like I should have done this differently, and it's it was before work, and it's how things were left. So that's was mulling on it all night long. Uh, just got home from work, and everybody's still sleeping. So while on my night shift, on lunch and a few breaks here and there, I did some power searches for some help on how to tackle the situation of these failed experiences. And it's like when you prepare to be a father, you prepare to be anything. There's that initial search for any type of advice, tackling scenarios on how to be the best dad, how to be the best father to a son, to a daughter. And you know it's it seems like it's all the same regurgitated self-help information across all platforms. And these gurus often talk from these like perfect scenarios of whatever situation that they were in, that they describe, of this calm demeanor of like they were expecting the child to act a certain way, and they had the right answer at the right time. And it's hard for any of that to like resonate, and especially in the moment, because a lot of this parenting is reactionary. We can plan and do as much as we can. We can prepare for as much as we can, but at the same time, just parenting's messy. It's sloppy at times, and my scenario, my take on it from what I've experienced over the past 10 immediate years of parenting, and they don't like these gurus and these people that have this all this advice never portray something from like a realistic standpoint. And it's specifically about sons, because we're all we're told about how we're these like these perfect scenarios of what we're supposed to be, like these Adonises, these gods among men, of like the perfect man, what that entails being. And like, oh, my father told me this and taught me this, and this has always resonated, and my grandfather was there to teach me all this stuff. And it's like not everybody has that. And like, especially in this, what I've in our age of the internet and how things can be readily researched, there's so much information. Stuff doesn't isn't always portrayed as realistic. It's just like social media. Everything's always out there of the everybody's perfect scenarios, their perfect dinner, their perfect date, their perfect vacation. And it it's hardly realistic, especially if we like trying to compare yourself to that. And that's where all this self-help stuff, these people offering like advice, or not even offering, it's the number one thing you should do, the top 10 parenting hacks, and it's all based off of these like perfect scenarios that just don't exist. And it's I found myself continually find myself, you know, feel like finding it completely unrelatable. And growing up, it's like I saw my dad be a hard worker, and there's a lot there, but like I didn't really get to really know my dad or learn about him until like later on in life. And then sadly my situation that was cut short. My dad passed away a few years ago, and so in this situation now, I don't have a dad to ask for advice on how to treat my son and be a good dad. And I don't have, like, in the same aspect, I don't have a grandfather to do that. So it's just when it's like I'm caught between being a dad and being told to be a certain way to be a perfect dad, but then I didn't have a perfect dad with all these stipulations that are put in place by these gurus and the stuff on how to be the perfect dad. There's no better way that I've seen than being there and making your flaws known and accepting that you have flaws, and backing that up with your kid. Because the situation that just happened, it's not the first time I've snapped. It's not going to be the last. But I'm going to make sure when he wakes up that I love him, and I'm going to talk to him about it, tell him that I'm sorry, and just continually show up and be there for him and be the best dad that I can for him. Because the ultimate goal is I want him to be better than I am. I want him to be able to grow up and have the everything that I wanted when I was a kid. Or I want him to be able to look back to when he was younger versus I want him to be able to look back when he was younger and know that he knew me because I was there. And because and just accepting him for how he is, for making mistakes, and showing him that I make mistakes, that it's just it's life, and nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, and that I'm still growing. He's learning how to be a young man, and I'm still growing and learning how to be a good dad. So it's I my feelings and thoughts on it is being transparent enough so your kids know that you have faults through me acknowledging that I have faults and apologizing for those faults. Because I think the one of the most recent uh, things I heard like a guru say is about like raising his son. We want to raise the sons to be men, and like he related it to some like the Spartans rites of passage for the Agogi, I think it was, um, and it's just like he just describes like this perfect scenario for like this coming of age story and like how it like happened. It's like this. It just seems so unrealistic for something to happen like that, to where it's like it makes it like unbelievable. And it's like not every boy's a warrior like that. So who is that trying to relate to? Especially when it comes to like relating from his father and his grandfather, and like the main thing is just being the best dad I can be against the perfect dad that I'm told to be by this research and these perfect scenarios. And just acknowledging that life doesn't care about it. Life's messy and sloppy, and so this isn't a anti self-helper, supposed guru type message or anything, because there's value there. Just I'm overall just saying that like these scenarios and everything just they're unrelatable to me. But I mean, at the base, yeah, we want to be the best we can. We want to be that perfect dad, as unrealistic as that is. And I guess, I mean, how do you guys feel and deal with the parent that you want to be versus the parent you have energy to be? Uh, so, I mean, how do you guys feel? Uh, how do you deal with? So, how do you guys feel and deal with the uh, with being with how do you guys deal with the uh, gap between being the parent you want to be, the dad you want to be, versus the one that you have energy to be? Yeah. So with that, I guess the yeah, and how do you guys feel? Or, so how do you guys deal with the gap between the parent you want to be versus the parent you have energy to be? So let's be present, not perfect.